Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel with myself, Isabella. I am so excited you're here today. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Isabella and I am a graduate of the Vaganova Ballet Academy in St. Petersburg. I then went on to dance with the Mikhailovsky Ballet and Eiffen Ballet before I founded BWI. BWI is balletwithisabella.com. It is a platform with classes, courses, plans and bespoke plans all on demand and pre-recorded, as well as live weekly classes online with myself and other trainers and teachers. Along with this, I host BWI intensives for adults and soon to be vocational students and more. We do this here in the UK and I also teach a lot internationally and I love it with all my heart. So today I have a lot of experience with beginners and beginner adults. Today I'm going to be talking about the top 10 things that you need to know if you are starting ballet and if you are a beginner ballet dancer, whether you're an adult or a young student. Number one, take your time. So many dancers rush the foundations, and to no fault of your own. Sometimes the teachers, especially in the drop-in classes, they go super quick. Only the other day, a lovely dancer came up to me and said, I love your classes because they're just kind of really slow. And my beginner classes, they're really slow and they really build the strength and the foundation. She said, so many classes just kind of go really quick and I don't really know what I'm supposed to be feeling, what I'm supposed to be doing. And ultimately, I don't really feel like I'm improving. And so my advice to you is don't rush those key foundational stages. Even though they're not fun and they can be kind of boring, difficult, if you want to do the more exciting things and ultimately one day if you want to do an advanced class or a pro class, you need to do the boring stuff, you need to do the hard stuff, you need to build the foundations. As much as we want to skip and go straight to the fun things, without the foundations, it's like, as you're laying the foundations of a house, if we don't lay those foundations, as much as we want to build the fancy things and start designing the rooms and start doing the fancy bathroom and things like that, if we don't lay the foundations, there'll be no house. And so that's really critical. Don't rush that stage. And your teacher should advise you when you're ready to go up to the next level. And make sure it's a teacher that really cares and is really invested and who does really want to help. There are teachers out there who just don't really care. Like it's unfortunate to say, but there are teachers like that who don't care so much and who have just sort of stumbled into teaching rather than actually wanting to do it. So maybe make sure you're getting the advice from someone who genuinely cares about you and your journey. But don't rush the foundations. They are absolutely key. Number two, you have to start on the floor. The floor is critical. So what I'm talking about here is not lying on the floor having a nap, but doing floor bar and doing ballet conditioning on the floor. This is something that is massively overlooked, even in professional schools. Some professional schools is the importance of starting ballet and learning ballet on the floor, because that is where the most renowned and key institutions start. It's almost like they're pre-ballet, and they do it as well in their first couple of years as like a full-on lesson, and they really need to feel the muscles. They're put in the correct places, they're put in the correct positions so that they really understand where they need to be, where the alignment is, the muscle connection. Really make sure from the get-go, I wish every beginner knows this, from the get-go, get on the floor. Do your floor bar routine. Start with very basic floor bar exercises, very basic conditioning, very basic alignment work, so that you're training those ballet muscles before you've even stood up. In ballet school, you need to pass that in order to go into the next phase where you actually learn the ballet. You need to really understand. So that's another key foundational thing that I would not skip and I would really prioritize. And it also makes it less overwhelming for you. Before we even stand up and do the ballet, because a lot of you message me because you stand up and you start learning the ballet in a beginner basic way, and then you realize, there's loads of things I need to connect with that I can't connect with. I'm suddenly realizing I can't point my toes properly, or I can't access my glute muscles. That is all fixed on the floor. Whether you've started ballet now already or you're about to start, get on the floor. And it's never too late. Just because you may have not started initially on the floor. It doesn't mean you can't. Number 3, and this is a big one. Honestly, this is the guide you need. There's the supporting leg and there's the working leg. And how we know things is we think about the supporting leg as the thing, and this is what we're taught nowadays. The supporting leg is the thing that supports you and the thing that we stand on. And the working leg is the thing that's doing all the fancy things. I want you to change how you think about that. An adult student of mine who's very, very knowledgeable in ballet, especially like she's had some teachers who are like very old school Russian. And she shared something with me which was kind of mind-blowing, but also just like so obvious to me. And I was like, well, that's how I think anyway. That's how I've had to teach myself to think. Why isn't that actually the case? Why do we call it this? So I want you to think about the supporting leg as the working one, and the working leg, as we know, the one that's doing the things, as the free leg, which makes total sense. And this will help you understand the importance of the leg you're standing on. Because the more you work that leg that you're standing on, and the more you understand how to really wrap and rotate your turnout and really understand it, then the freer this leg will be, and the more isolated it will be, and the easier it will be to do things with this leg. When the supporting leg and the leg you stand on is a little bit weak and not fully activated and not holding its turnout, the alignment goes off and it's much harder to use the other leg. So really focus on the importance of the leg you're standing on and how you're working it, so that the other leg can do its job and be free. Number 4, wrap your legs and prioritize the sensation of turnout. I would say this is one of the hardest things to find as a beginner, is the sensation of turnout. What does that even mean? You know, it's really, sadly, not as simple as just turn out your legs. Stand turned out. Stand like a duck. Sadly, it's not as easy as that. And so going back to my point of starting on the floor, I want you to prioritize the sensation of turnout, and that can be trained whilst you're on the floor. And that's one of the things I want you to really focus on. So when you're doing, hopefully, the very slow class exercises, you know, when you're standing up and starting very, very slowly, really try to hone the skill and hone the understanding, and it will take some time, of wrapping the legs, wrapping the hips, wrapping the thighs, wrapping the knees, calves, heels, ankles, and really understanding that sensation. It's really, really critical to having balance, to having strong alignment and strong, beautiful positions and stability and control. And so when you're standing up, and I do a lot of work on my platform about this, we talk a lot about the wrap of the legs, the alignment of the legs and the turnout, and what is the sensation of turnout, you know? It doesn't just come from the legs, but it comes from the body, the core connection, the hip rotation, the thighs flattening, the knees drawing together, the calves knitting together, and finally the feet. It's very, very complex, which is why I want you to prioritize understanding and developing the sensation of turnout. And you can do that with very slow bar work exercises, as well as the floor exercises, which you could do. And if you're unsure of what to actually do, feel free to email me, enquiries@balletwithisabella.com, and we will guide you to the conditioning exercises that are suitable to you. Number 5, prioritize your footwork and feet conditioning. So this is another one, along with turnout, along with getting on the floor, is feet. You know, in ballet, feet are so important. You'll find the more articulate your feet get and the more good you get at connecting with your toes and connecting with your feet, you'll be able to connect just so much more with your whole body. It will help with your balance. It will help with the alignment of your leg, obviously, and how you get onto your demi point. And what I'm talking about with footwork, I'm talking about obviously strength of your feet, but also the flexibility of your feet and the alignment. So what you need to do is invest in a TheraBand. So you need to get a nice medium strength TheraBand. You may need to start lighter depending on how the strength of your feet are, but you can start quite light, like with a red or a yellow, depending on some places they're the opposite way around, but most of the time red and yellow are the weaker ones, leading up to eventually black, which is the strongest one. Now I really recommend my Amazing Feet course. It's called the Amazing Feet course on my platform, and it has everything you need to understand and fully train your feet properly. strength, loosening up the intrinsic muscles, the idea of spreading the toes, flexibility of the feet, how it makes the whole leg work, and understanding how to stand and spread the toes and feel how it connects to the whole leg. It is truly an amazing course which will help you instantly. And if you can work on this from the get-go, you'll be in a really, really good place. So prioritize your footwork. It is so key in ballet. It helps you not only push off the pirouettes, balance, stability, jumps. You want to see these beautiful feet when you're jumping, all of these things. If your feet aren't optimal, the rest of your body can't work optimally. And so it's really, really key. Number 6, learn the positions of the legs and the arms, as well as where the head should be, in great detail. It's all about the foundations. So ballet kind of builds upon itself. So in ballet, we have the basic positions of the legs and the arms and the feet. Then it leads into the basic ballet movements. And those are the things that each movement stems from. So a plie in ballet is where we bend the knees, and a tendu is where we stretch the leg. And each movement after that derives from those foundational moves. And so the first thing to do is really understand all your positions. First position, second position, fourth position, and fifth position. Now, your teacher may use third position, which is often what some people do before fifth. But in the Vaganova technique, most of the time, it's kind of like they won't do a fully crossed fifth until the hips are really kind of connected and ready. So it'll be like this sort of fifth position or third position. And then understanding the arms, first, second, in Vaganova, third. You may also know it as fifth position. And really knowing where it is those positions are and how to get in and out of those. And then understanding the basic movements, plie and tendu, and really mastering those and building upon them so that each movement after that becomes already easy. So really practice understanding exactly the positions, practice the positions of the feet and the arms and then the head, how to hold your fingers, how to hold your hands. Feel free to try my 8-week absolute beginner course where we go through all these foundational things, and it's been very useful for a lot of you. Feel free to try as well my beginner basics course as well, which goes through things in more detail as well, like linking steps, etc. But you're probably not there just yet. And so once you master the foundations, everything else will make a lot more sense, rather than what happens to a lot of people where you kind of learn in a bit of a rush and then only later you realize you've skipped quite a lot of foundations, and then you have to go back and retrain and relearn again. Which leads into my next one. Number 7, practice your basics in great detail. Your pliés and tendus, so the basic movements. So previously we spoke about learning the basic positions, and now it's basic movements. So I touched on this previously just a second ago, but pliés, tendus, how to go in and out of each position, these kinds of movements we master and develop our whole career. You know, even though plié means to bend and demi-plié, half bend, even though it sounds pretty simple, a half bend, and tendu, stretch the leg, it's actually so much more complex than that. And understanding and having a very good teacher around you who can really help you understand how to feel the movement. What does it actually feel like? What should we feel like when we bend? Ballet is very 3-dimensional, and it's not just about bend and stretch, but it's about bend, wrap around, stretch, and wrap the thighs, and really understanding where your initiation is coming from, where the activation is coming from, really understanding the muscular connection, as well as imagery. Really concentrate on continually, even when you think you understand them, continually working on them and mastering them to make them even better, to make them near perfect. Make it your mission to make your foundations, your pliés and tendus, as near perfect as you possibly can. And it will really help you as you get further and further into your ballet training and progress. Number 8, choose a teacher who really respects you, who really sees you, and who really enjoys giving you detailed feedback, and who wants to help you, who wants to give you the detailed feedback and wants to give you the attention you want and deserve. Because like I said in the beginning of this video, there's so many teachers who will just go through the motions and not necessarily care so much about you or what it is you're trying to achieve. It's just the case, you know, it's the case with a lot of things. Some people are just going through the motions. And so you really want to find a teacher, be it in person or online, who is really interested in helping you and interested in helping you get better, and who sees you, because then you feel like you have the support, you have a supporter. It's very motivating. You feel like you have someone who is looking after you. You feel like you have someone you can make mistakes in front of, and they won't let those mistakes go. You know, they will see them and they will correct them. I work with so many beginners, and I really wish I had eyes on everyone at the same time, but I try so hard not to let anything go, and it's hard for me. I literally can't. It's like, what? Turn out your leg. I have to tell them, because I just feel like it's a disservice if I don't. Like, they've come here and they want to leave better. I massively care. And so if you can't make my in-person classes, whether it's here or internationally, I'm coming to, let me tell you where I'm coming to at the moment, because obviously I'm based in London and we do a lot of intensives here. We've got our first beginner intensive in summer. I'm so excited. I'm also traveling to Singapore and Melbourne and Perth for adult intensive super soon. I'm so excited. So if you live near those areas, definitely come. If you can't make those, come see me online. You know, see me online. We do live classes as well as all my courses. So it's like a real community vibe. You're looked after, you know? And we have lots of other teachers too. So it's a real lovely community of like-minded people, like-minded dancers. Number 9. Enjoy this time of mastering your craft in the early stages, because this is the hardest bit. It can be really frustrating. It can take a while. It can take a long time, especially as for adult dancers, this is your hobby. This is something you do outside of your own life. So it can take a while, kind of much like a concert pianist. Really enjoy this moment, enjoy this time where you're really diving into the detail of it, because you're going to come out of the other side of it so much better, and so grateful to yourself that you took that time, because everything will be so much easier. And that's what we want, right? We want it to be easier later. You know, I did a notebook for my intensives and it was hard route now, easier later, which I think is really it just sums it up. Like, the more effort you put in now and the more time you take over the hard things, it'll be so much easier later. So really take the time in working on the very basics. Don't rush. Seriously, don't rush. And you'll know when you feel better. You know, if you're questioning whether it's time to move on, it probably isn't. And number 10, join an intensive. Join a beginner intensive. You probably need about a year or two's work before you're ready to join an intensive, unless someone's putting together an absolute beginner intensive. But join a beginner intensive. That also is a really nice goal. I love intensives for that. Like, it's such a good goal for you to work towards, you know? Like, you've got 6 months before the intensive, time to get flexible or whatever. Like I said, I'm doing a beginner intensive in the summer, which is sold out, but we will be doing more. Keep in the loop with what I'm doing, as well as, you know, other teachers you may like. For me, you can find all the information on my Instagram at Ballet with Isabella, on my website, balletwithisabella.com, and then also I'll share here, obviously. I think work towards, especially if you're an absolute beginner, work towards the intensive idea, because that's a really good goal. And create a vision board if you're really into it. Create a vision board of what it is you really want to achieve, where it is you really want to get to with your ballet. Build out your year and see where you want to be at certain points. Like, I want to put your sticky notes on it and just map it all out. It's really useful. Above all, I hope this has been really helpful. And above all, I just want you to really enjoy the journey. And I hope we cross paths one day. And I hope I can help you personally one day. It would be my honor to be a part of your journey in any significant way. So I really appreciate you watching this video. I hope you found it helpful, and I hope it's given you some strategies for success in your start and your journey to ballet. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll speak to you very soon. Bye for now.